Alrighty, folks. So it looks like we've got a new poll out. Alright, this poll says that Bernie Sanders has a 19-point lead in Nevada, which is pretty massive. Now, everyone's saying that I don't know how to say Nevada. I don't know what other way you could say that. But this comes from the Data for Progress, which is a progressive pollster. And if my knowledge of this pollster is correct, it's basically an Elizabeth Warren, geared sort of pollster. YouGov is the same. YouGov, if you look at YouGov polls, for some reason, YouGov, always, every single poll that they conduct, for some reason, Elizabeth Warren has an extra 4 to 5 points from the aggregate average. Why is that? It's probably because they're, Elizabeth Warren, basically propaganda tank. And so it looks like same thing for Data for Progress. So when you see Bernie Sanders demolishing, that's pretty remarkable stuff. Now, is he really leading by 19 points in Nevada? I don't think so. I really don't. That's a pretty fat lead. It's a pretty massive lead. It says 21% of respondents back other candidates, including 10% for Tom Steyer, 9% for Senator Amy Klobuchar. Sanders held an overwhelming advantage among voters under age 45 who backed him at 64%, and Hispanic voters who supported him at 66%. No other candidate registered in the double digits for Hispanic support. Highest net favorability rate at 38%. So he is leading in this poll. Now, if you look at these aggregate numbers here, they're not really putting out many polls, maybe because Bernie's doing well in them and they don't want to release any polls showing that. We know that they did that with the DMR poll right before Iowa. And then we also know that they haven't, I just checked, they have not released a national poll in quite a long time, I believe, in over, I think the most recent one was like a little bit under a week ago. So they haven't really been dropping any new national polls ever since that wave of polls came out showing Bernie Sanders up at the top. For some reason, they just kind of stopped putting him out. I guess they don't want to boost Bernie's campaign at all. But there's really only two polls that we have right now. One of them coming from Las Vegas Review Journal, which has Bernie Sanders up by at 25, Biden at 18, Warren at 13, Buttigieg at 10, which puts Sanders at a +7 margin. Now, in the aggregate count, Bernie Sanders is leading by 9 points. So we only have really two polls here. Now, Bernie Sanders is most likely leading in Nevada. Now, a lot of that has to do with the biggest teachers union backed him. Obviously, he does well with young voters. He's doing very spectacularly with Hispanic voters. That's going to come in crucial in Nevada. And so, that's going to be a big piece for him. I also think that winning New Hampshire and Iowa was also a sort of big, boost for him as well. And Joe Biden's campaign, I think tanking was pretty big. It looks like this is one of the states that Bloomberg is not registering in. I don't think he's buying up any ads in Nevada. I think he's just buying ads in Super Tuesday states only. But definitely worth noting, Bernie Sanders in a big lead. Now, another disclaimer I have to let you know about, folks, is this is not a primary, it's a caucus, and the caucus is already being rigged. But in addition to that, you need a massive lead in the caucus if you're Bernie Sanders, because the moderates are going to have to flock to someone, and so it really depends on how the outcome of that comes out. So we saw last time in Iowa was Pete Buttigieg was pulling all the non-viable moderates to their side, and so we'll see who they flock to. We'll see if they go to Klobuchar, or if they go to Warren, or if they go to Buttigieg or Biden. I don't think they're going to go to Buttigieg, but who knows? We'll have to find out at this point. But it'll be very interesting, to say the least. That we'll be live covering the Nevada results. Actually, not that far out, just some days now. So we'll be covering those. But yeah, this is the current numbers that we have.